I am suddenly reminded why Uma was such a success. And about that time frame, I did a whole lot. I did different kinds of reading then. I remember I did get this one book from the library. It was like gross cooking recipes, and I remember one really stuck out because it pretty much was like it was the only one we actually had the actual items to actually make, and that was a spitwad sandwich, which was basically 2 slices of bread, which you put peanut butter on them, and then you took marshmallows and you broke up the marshmallows so they looked like spitwads, and then you would just dot them all over. That was a spitwad sandwich, apparently. You too can eat spitwad. It was silly. But around, I don't 100% remember when I recall, but I definitely remember starting to read like the book series around that time frame that I had. Like the first book was Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots. That was the first book. And there were other ones like Ghosts Don't Eat Potato Chips, Werewolves Don't Run Summer Camp, blah blah blah, doesn't do la la la. I had 2 books of that. I had 1 second here, I'm about to sneeze. Give it a moment.
Yeah, Vlada.
I had Frankenstein Doesn't Plant Petunias. And I think the explanation was like, even though the guy looked like Frankenstein, he wasn't really Frankenstein. He was just a guy who got bumped on the head. He just kind of looks the way he does, and he just kind of dresses the way he does. And it just so happens he just looks like Frankenstein. And he had like this tall collar, so they thought they had neck bolts there, but they pulled down the collar. There were no neck bolts. But, oh, we're sorry, dude. We're sorry we thought you were Frankenstein, and that you liked planting petunias. And we're sorry that we tried to set you on fire because we knew Frankenstein's afraid of fire and stuff. That happened. The other one I had was Dragons Don't Cook Pizza. Now, if you're trying to wonder, well, how does that work? Why would kids suspect a pizza cooking dragon? Well, it was like a medieval setting pizza place, and after all this turnabout, like, oh my god, guys, there's a dragon in there, and it's cooking pizza. But why would they make a dragon cook pizza? And their main enemy was this guy who actually ran the restaurant. And the funny thing is obviously there was no dragon. There wasn't even a hint of what the dragon was. I mean, the best thing they had was they actually went in the back and they saw it was a huge oven that just so happened to have been set up to look very similar. It looked like a dragon, but it wasn't even alive. It was a stone brick dragon based oven, and the dragon was just like when you put the pizza in the oven, because this was like a stone cook oven, and essentially what they would do was the oven looked a lot like a dragon's face, so it looked like he was putting the pizza in the dragon's mouth, and it had like the ventilation for the smoke to go out. It kind of looked like the nostrils of the dragon, like, so he was like and stuff like that. But it wasn't anything like what you would think it is. Ugh. And yeah, from there, we also had a couple books very similar that told fairy tales. We had the 3 Little Bears, Hansel and Gretel, and what was the other one? Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. and they were like big, like the whole page was a picture, and then they would have words to explain what was going on. And I remember Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Goldilocks was a mean girl. Everybody hated her. She did what she wanted. And then we got over to the bears, and we're like, oh yeah, we're having our porch. And she came in, she made a mess of the place of all the things she didn't like. So, she was really mean. So she got her comeuppance or whatever when the bears came home and scared her the bejesus out of her. And we went, and I learned my lesson not to be mean. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, it's Radio! Radio! Hey, Radio! About that time frame also, in Hawaii, that was when I first got into Goosebumps. And my first book was A Night in Terror Tower. And what do you mean I can't pick that up? Clean that up. Say more mechanical while I tell my story. First book was Night in Terror Tower, and it was, I got it not at a store, and I didn't read it out of a library. I got it because, what was it? Like every month, the teachers would give out these very thin pieces of paper, these pamphlets, and they would have all these different things you could buy. They were mostly books. It was like Scholastic Books Share thing. And basically, you would go home and be like, Mom, Dad, I want this book. And they would give you, like, I don't know, I can't tell if it was like, I think it was mostly cash. You'd bring the cash back, you would hand it in to the teacher, fill out all the little forms and stuff. And then, like, weeks later, the teacher would come out and be like, alright, here's your book, and here's your thing, and here's your thing. And the very first thing I ever got out of that, I think, was Night in Terror Tower. So, it was interesting. So I went from there. I don't remember the exact order of how I got the rest of the books, but I pretty much got almost every single book. The only ones I didn't have were Phantom of the Opera, Phantom of the Auditorium, and The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. Now, I did read Phantom of the Opera, Phantom of the Auditorium, but I never actually read the, never had actually read The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, so I can't really tell you what the plot of that is. Yeah. Thank you, cheerleader. Let's talk to
Vlada?
Miss Amanda. Amanda Reeves! Let's talk to Amanda.